Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the Neca Back to the Future Ultimate Doc Brown. This is Doc Brown from 1955 as he appeared in the first film, although you do see this version in each of the three films. So let's check out the packaging here. As you can see, this is his work desk, his lamp, his helmet, his goggles, a wrench, save the clock tower petition. Local farmer claims a space zombie wrecked his barn. He's in a straitjacket there. Pretty funny. And then the flux capacitor design. At the top of the package, Back to the Future, Doc Brown. One side, got the DeLorean. Same thing on the other side. At the bottom, there's a bunch of credits and a barcode, in case that helps anybody. On the back, you can see the figure, his different heads, different accessories, and then a bunch of other figures from the line. This is one of Neca's Ultimate figures. It's in the window box packaging. You can hear the Velcro on the inside. Here's the figure. And then here he is with all of his accessories. I got my figure from Neca's Amazon store, but he is available at Walmart.com right now for free shipping. Would have much rather got him there, but it is what it is. So let's go and open him up. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. He does come with two alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, 2 different heads. He has his goggles, a wrench, he's got blueprints of the clock tower, he's got a letter from Marty, left for his future self, and then he has the design of the flux capacitor. But before we look at those accessories, let's check out the actual figure. So here he is, Doc Emmett Brown. Christopher Lloyd's likeness looks great. He has that crazy gray hair going back. He's got that cut above his forehead where he fell off the toilet and thought of the flux capacitor. The eyes, very intense. Looks just like Christopher Lloyd. They knocked this guy's likeness out of the park. Very nice job. Moving further down, he's got this jacket on made of a soft material. Got the old 50s style shirt on. He's got gloves on these hands, looks like double jointed elbows in Neca's unique fashion. His pants look great, very textured, very old school 50s style brown slacks. He's got some black shoes on. He even has this rip in his pants down here from the end of the film when the cable caught on his pants. Very nicely done. The detail's just excellent on this guy. Not too much report on the back, but this guy looks great. Very happy to add him to the collection. And then, here he is, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, and let's start off with his hands. Here he is, with his first pair of hands. These are both some gripping hands, and they have gloves on. And here he is, with his other pair of hands. Both these hands are mostly extended. They shouldn't really be able to hold anything. They don't have gloves on. And one cool thing about these hands, both these hands have a watch on, just like in the film. You can see this one has the watch on top, and this other hand here has the watch on the bottom. Doc Brown being obsessed with time makes perfect sense. Now let's look at his heads. One has a normal expression, and one has that shocked expression with the open mouth. Here he is with his first head. He has some very intense eyes here. His head is not fully accurate to this outfit. He's got the bandage on his forehead, and when he wore this outfit, the cut had already started to heal, and he didn't have the bandage on anymore. And here's his next head. The expression on his face is just priceless. He's got that shocked look. His mouth is wide open. Now I noticed the bandage is not on his cut anymore. This would be how his cut looked near the end of the film when he had this outfit on. And while we're on the subject of his heads, he comes with these goggles. You can see they're black on the front, got a brown strap. They're made of a very bendable material. You're going to be able to attach them to either one of his heads. Here he is with his first head without the goggles on. And the way you attach the goggles is pretty clever. You see this area below the hair, above the ear, a little slot they're going to go into, and it goes all the way through the back of his head. It's going to fit under his ear and be tucked in. Now I will say, they're pretty hard to get on, it's pretty tight, but once you get them on, they're going to stay very securely, and they're going to be very hidden. And here's his first head with the goggles on. And here's his second head without the goggles. And his second head with the goggles on. Now let's look at his wrench. Pretty basic but very useful accessory. He's got that red handle, the silver top. I could use this for Doc repairing something. I could use it for a street thug holding it to fight Batman. Very useful accessory in my action figure world. Here he is holding the wrench. He can only hold it with his two gloved hands. Now let's look at the blueprints to the clock tower. It's pretty much just a piece of paper here. But you can see, here's the top of the clock tower, all the inner workings. Now let's look at the flux capacitor design. I remember in the film, someone like he fell and hit his head on the toilet, and that was the moment the flux capacitor idea came to him. Pretty cool little design. This is what is in the DeLorean and makes the time machine work. And here's his final accessory. This is a letter that Marty Mcfly left for Doc. It says on the front, "Do not open until 1985. See on the back, it looks like an envelope. This letter explained to Doc he was going to get killed by the terrorists. Doc didn't want to ruin the timeline, so he ripped it up. And when Marty got to the future, turns out Doc had taped the letter back together and wore a bulletproof vest. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to top, he's standing at about 7.25 inches tall, which is going to translate to about 18.5 centimeters. And now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. It can look up and down about that much. It can tilt his head from side to side, giving him a nice amount of personality. Shoulders on a ball joint. You can go out a little bit less than 90 degrees, up, down, around, all the good stuff. No bicep cut, but he's got a double jointed elbow. Can go up that far in the back, and then that far in the front. He does have rotation at both the top and the bottom. His wrist can rotate around. It's going to be hinged as well. All the sleeves block a little bit of that. In the middle here, he's got this soft goods shirt on top of some kind of a ball joint here. And go forward and back and rotate around. Rotation will stay, but going forward and back is more or less useless. You can't hold any of those poses. Legs on ball joints, they can go out about this far. They can swivel independently of the ball. Go forward about that far. You can hear how tight this guy is. Back, really not too much. Single jointed knees, they go back about that far, and they can rotate. Then his ankles here, goes up and down a little bit. It can tilt and rock some, and it can rotate around. You can see his socks in there, pretty nice detailing. Here's the Doc and Marty going over the blueprints of the clock tower before that night where they're going to send Marty back. And now let's check them out, compared with some other action figures, starting out with some other Neca Back to the Future figures. Here's Marty Mcfly and Emmett Brown together. It's been a long time coming. I can't wait to get more different display options with the two of them together. And here's the entire Neca Back to the Future collection. I definitely expect to get a lot more figures before they're said and done. Now let's check them out next to some action figures from different various companies to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Here he is with some of his Neca brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from Neca Toys, all 7-inch scale. And here he is with some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then next to some McFarlane toys. And here next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. Then next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And here he is next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Then next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here next to some Mafex figures. Then next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, here he is next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is a really nice figure. Doc Brown was a really cool, eccentric character in Back to the Future, and this figure totally does him justice. The likeness with Christopher Lloyd is excellent. His accessories are pretty good. I hope they make some more Doc figures with some really cool accessories, like that helmet he had when Marty first met him in 1955. His articulation is pretty good. I'm really not a fan of the way Neca does those double-jointed elbows when they have that extra piece between the bicep and the forearm. His sculpt is great. The texture in his outfit is fantastic. I really like the way they handled his clothing. So overall, if I were to rate this guy, I'd give him a very strong 8 out of 10. I am very much enjoying this figure. He is excellent. I hope they release a bunch of more Doc Brown figures. I have a feeling we're going to get the one for the 50s with the helmet. We're definitely going to get the future version with the yellow coat and the transparent tie. We're definitely going to get a Western version. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get a radiation suit Doc as well. But there are a couple other versions I could make on top of that if they wanted to. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.